Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is day 4 of cosmetology school. I haven't figured out how I'm going to track this, if I'm going to do it weekly or daily. My daily videos are coming out to about 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes 30. So I think that I will be doing a video daily, and sometimes I'll group them together if there's not a lot going on in a single day. Yes, my braids are gone. I had them in for about 3.5 weeks, and that's about the most I can do. I do not know how you ladies keep these box braids in for 3 months. Like, it makes no sense to me. I feel like the max anybody should have box braids in is like 6 to 8 weeks at the most. But 4 weeks is honestly my cap, and at 3.5 weeks I was like, okay, like the braids were getting loose around the edges, it was starting to pull, my edges are kind of thin, so I just felt like every day that went by my edges were getting thinner and thinner. They don't feel thinner, they don't look thinner, but while the braids were in, they definitely just felt like it was damaging my hair. So kudos to the ladies that can make them last that long, but I would not recommend keeping them in for longer than that. I actually had a friend in college. I put some kinky twists in her hair. She probably knows. I don't know if she's even watching this, but she went to Jamaica and she left those kinky twists in the entire summer. Like, probably more than that. Probably like 4 to 6 months. It might have been 6 months. I could be, the camera, it'll fix soon. The light is whatever. I feel like it was 6 months. Don't quote me. I've been known to exaggerate stories. That's the storyteller in me. But it was a long time. She came back and the kinky hair was locked into her hair. Like, they had become one. We could not get the hair out. We soaked it in conditioner. We did everything we could. It would not come out. So we had to big chop. We had to cut the hair out. And her hair was this length. It was ridiculous. So don't do that. Your stylist is not gonna like you if you come in asking them to take out some matted braids. So that's my rant for the morning about braids. I am on the road. I did not leave at the time I wanted to this morning. I wanted to leave at 7:25, and then something happened with the rearview mirror in the car, and it is a bit shattered. So my husband tried to tape it together until we get it fixed. So yeah, that is a doozy. So I'm leaving at 7:45, and the GPS is telling me I will get to school at 8:50. We will see. With the traffic, honestly, this spot, they said it was going to be a lot of traffic, like 11 minutes of backed up traffic, but it looks like it's clear, so maybe I need to check the GPS again. I can't while I'm filming, but we'll see. Hopefully I can get there 10 minutes, 5 minutes early. But I'm going to try to not say as much as I can. Because I was rewatching the previous videos and I'm like, I say a lot, but it's because I'm driving and I'm thinking, and I'm just not, I haven't been public speaking in so long, like in front of people, or just, I think I already said this. Long story short, I'm going to try not to say it as much because I'm not going to be doing a lot of intense editing on these videos. I just don't have the time to sit down and cut out the ums and cut out the likes. It's just not where my life is right now. this is going to be a raw, uncut version of my life, because I just don't have the time to battle with the perfectionist version of me for this particular project that I'm doing. So yeah, that will not be happening, but I will, the moment comes into my mind, I will just take a pause, and you still might get one. On a positive note, I have Meta glasses. My husband let me use his. I don't really know how to use them that well. I practiced with them a little bit yesterday. So hopefully I will be able to get some close-ups of what I'm doing in class, and it will make the content a lot more worthwhile. I do not want to get caught filming certain things and then people get upset. So I still want to try to be discreet and trying to respect people's privacy and not putting certain people on camera, and just kind of focusing on what I'm doing and the lessons I'm learning, or the chapters in the book we're focusing on. So I'll figure out how to use the glasses. It's going to be a work in progress, but I'm excited about that. So yeah, I'll be using these. Just got to bumper-to-bumper traffic after I spoke too soon. So I guess this is the 11-minute traffic jam the GPS was talking about. So it's fine. I am going 5 miles an hour right now. That's how close and slow it is. But my days off were great. I was able to recap a lot of the things that we learned last week. I showed my notes because my handwriting is terrible, and I just kind of wanted to present that. But I retyped out all my notes and did some research on some of the things that I wrote down, but wasn't sure what I wrote down, and everything became so much more clear to me. So having them typed is great. I just like to write them because I keep my book on me while I'm on the floor and while we're doing any style. So if Miss Bella is doing something in the moment, I want to be able to write that down. And having a laptop, or I could use my tablet, but my tablet is big. It's big and bulky. I don't want to use my phone because, like I said, I'm trying not to just have my phone out. And sometimes people can't tell if you're texting or taking notes. So I'd rather just not misconstrue the two. So I just keep my phone up, have my notebook out, so it is clear that I am focused and intentional about what I am trying to learn in this space. So I was able to retype out all my notes, and I actually released a blog post on my Substack. So if you read Substack, feel free to subscribe to my channel. It's multi-hyphenated mama, or just my name, Shakia, and you'll find it. And I'll be releasing pretty much a written version of every vlog I release. I pretty much just was able to compile the transcripts of everything I wrote, and then my notes, and put those together in a blog post. And at first I was like, who am I doing this for? Nobody cares about reading this blog post. But then I thought, as I was reading the blog post, it kind of brought everything back to me. Like it was another form of studying, being able to type out my notes and then put it in a blog post. It now forced me to try to communicate what I had learned back to someone, whoever is reading. So it felt like certain things that I didn't understand. Like because Miss Bella has an accent, sometimes I have trouble understanding what she's saying, and she kept saying blend the line of demarcation. But when she was saying it, I kept asking, what is that? What are you saying? And then by the time I wrote it out, I was like, okay, I understand that word. Sometimes words are weird to me if I can't visualize how to spell it, what it means. And I knew what it meant based on context clues and what she was saying, but I just had never heard that word before. And I had never seen that word written before, so I was just kind of like, what is she talking about? So yes, for anyone who, I don't know how other people learn I am a repetition. I'm a visual learner, definitely, but I'm also a repetition type person. I learn the more I do things, the more I read things, reading things in different ways, seeing something from a textbook being applied to real life. So I think this program is perfect, that we do the textbook first thing in the morning and then we get on the floor and apply it, because it snaps instantly for me personally. But I'm not going to sit here and talk for too long. Like I said, in the mornings, I do like to listen to a podcast and enjoy my tea and coffee because I need a dose of it all to get through the day. So I will report back. Hopefully I get to intercut this video with some Meta Glasses content. Hopefully I don't jack it up. So we'll see. I will be trying these out today. So catch you later. Hello. Hopefully it's not too loud. I've got pumps going. I've got the AC blowing. Los Angeles, I don't know what the hype is about the weather here. People are like, the weather! It's really not all that. It's not all that. Like, of course I don't love the fact that Florida has hurricanes, but I'm a Florida girl at heart. I love that for the most part the weather is even. It's steady. Yeah, it might rain every few days, but we need rain. LA will go 6 months without rain, and it's just frustrating. You wake up in the morning and it is 50 degrees, and then by noon it's 70 degrees, and then by 3 p.m. it's 90 degrees, and then it's back to, it's just a mess. It's a mess. I don't know why I'm here sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, why did I come here? There are definitely benefits. For instance, the cosmetology program I'm a part of, I don't think I was able to find a hybrid program in Florida, because I was looking. And I honestly don't think I would be in cosmetology school right now if it were not a hybrid program. There are some programs that are part-time, but then that ends up taking like 15 months to 2 years out of your life. You're going there Monday through Friday, 5 hours a day. Those programs aren't really set up for you to work. This program, because I only go in 4 hours a day, 3 times a week, I can still work. I can still look for work. I can still take other opportunities. And I think this program just allows me to have a lot more flexibility. So, and Los Angeles lowered the credit hour requirement from 1,500 or like 1,600 to 1,000. Some people try to rally against that because they think we need the 16 hours. But I feel like you can get those other hours with real life experience in the real world. And if you're not good, nobody's going to hire you anyway. So even if you got 1,600 hours, if you're not good, it doesn't matter. It's still a business where you can get hired at a salon, but you jack up somebody's hair, they're not coming back to you. So it's just different. Of course, the stakes are still high. You could totally F up on the first go around and burn somebody's scalp or do something just dark and then their hair starts falling out. That could totally be the case. But that just getting an extra 500, 600 hours is gonna prevent that from happening. I think you just have to make sure you're educating yourself as much as possible with the time you have. So I'm grateful for this program, and that's one thing I can say about Los Angeles. It has its pluses and its minuses, but there are certain things that I've just been able to take advantage of while being here that I haven't been able to, or I don't think I would be able to anywhere else from just a progressive standpoint. Even when I had my son, I gave birth with a midwife at a birthing center, and I was able to get a free doula through Los Angeles because they were trying to help lower the Black maternal death rate. So they were offering free doulas, and doulas were volunteering, and I was able to get one who was amazing. And I was able to just go through that program like, hey, I'm a Black mom, and they were like, here, you get one. And it was as simple as that. So as much as I complain about LA, I don't think any place is ever going to be perfect. Taxes here is high, but sometimes I ask myself, do you get what you pay for? Homelessness is bad, but it's bad everywhere. At least in different states, there's going to be an area of homelessness that is very bad. It may not compare to Skid Row, but I think especially warmer states, the homeless tend to navigate to those states more because it's warm all year long. But I don't know. Sometimes I think if I did move back to Florida, why? I don't know. I'd have to think more about that. But enough about me ranting about California. School today, day 4. That is a wrap. Today we were still on chapter 16, hair coloring. I think this chapter is a very big chapter, so I think we're going to be in this chapter for quite some time. But we went over the color wheel today, which was a very interesting concept. We went over primary colors and secondary colors in our cosmetology book, Milady. If I can remember, the primary colors are red, blue, and I want to say yellow. I could be wrong, but I want to say yellow. I was able to use my Meta glasses today, so I will be plugging in clips, and I'm probably doing that right now, which was amazing. And then the secondary colors, if I'm not mistaken, are green, orange, and violet. I hope I'm right. I am trying to recall all this from memory. I'm testing my memory right now. So we went over the primary colors and the secondary colors, and we're gonna go. She said we're gonna be talking about the color wheel pretty much all week. So we went over that. We went over the developer volumes, the 10%, the 10 volume, 20 volume, 30 volume, and 40 volume, and how the higher the volume, the more lift you're getting in the color, and I don't know if it's the more lift you're getting and the less color deposit, or the lift to color deposit ratio, so to speak. So I'm still trying to figure out that. So I took some in-depth notes that I'm definitely going to have to go over again this evening. But just kind of learning to understand what the volumes actually mean and how they affect the ultimate desired color that you are going to, the color you're trying to achieve. So that's like I said, color is one of the main reasons why I came to cosmetology school. So I just want to be able to master that person's virgin hair color. So we talked about virgin bleaching. That's something we went over today as well during our first half of the class. And then the styling portion, I was working on a mannequin, learning to apply. We didn't actually apply color today. We used her special concoction of shaving cream and shampoo just to practice learning how to apply. She doesn't want us wasting color. So right now the focus is on mastering the actual application of the product. So going into an inch above the roots, leaving an inch of the tips out, and just focusing on applying to the shaft. And then once we do that, we go back to the roots, performing a strand test to see just how much lightening or lifting the color based on that current formula was able to lift. And then going back through and dabbing on the roots, dabbing on the ends to finish. And that's pretty much what I focused on during class today. I was also able to shadow two students. They were doing cuts today. A lot of cutting, a lot of trimming. One woman got a full cut about to here. She kept asking to get it shorter, so that was nice just to see how they went in and just focused on giving her a precise bob. And then the other client was a man, a gentleman, and he had a little bit of balding up here, you know, the style, the grown man style. But he was a white male, I'm gonna guess. And just seeing how they go through and precisely cut those two clients, which is two clients I never probably would have had walk in the salon I work at. So it was nice to witness that. So I feel like just me even being able to see it, I feel like it's something that I can now put into practice and start, you know, just getting better at cutting. That's also something I want to master in cosmetology school. Coloring and cutting is like, those are my two. Of course I want to learn all the things and I want to be good at all the things, but those are the two things that I feel like I truly want to be able to add to my list of things that I can offer. Coloring, cutting, shampooing, things of that nature. We also had orientation for the new students. I thought I had orientation already, but this was more of a detailed orientation for the newbies. I believe me and one other student, and then a few esthetician students, we sat down with the owner, Sonia is her name, and she went over just the requirements for being in the program, making sure that we document our hours, keeping track of all our hours. That's something I've been doing already. Every time I sign a form, I take a picture of it. I learned this with acting, because with acting, a lot of times you're signing physical timesheets, and sometimes the hours may come back funny, and you're like, wait, no, I worked 14 hours this day. So I have now gotten into the habit that if I'm signing something in person and it hasn't been sent via email and there isn't a record system of it, I take a picture of it on my phone as soon as I sign it. Anytime I'm signing my wet signature and putting a date at the end, I'm signing it, I'm stamping it into reality on my phone with a timestamp, a date and a time. So I have my pictures from last week, I have my pictures from this week. So it was good that she just reiterated that, making sure that you keep track of every timesheet, every time you sign in, making sure you sign in, making sure you come on time, sign in, making sure you sign out, because you're documenting your hours is very important. It obviously comes down to hours, and because our program is partially online, they are more meticulous about how we document our hours. So she She said once we get access to the online portion of the class, making sure we are logged in for 500 hours, not in one day, but throughout this entire program, we need 500 hours. And sometimes it may only take you 10 minutes to read a chapter, but that doesn't mean you digested the information. So it may have taken you 20 to 30 minutes to read a chapter, but you might need to spend, or you're gonna have to spend about 5 hours studying that chapter, rereading that chapter, because the computer also documents how long you've been in this chapter. And you can't just open the chapter and go make breakfast and go take a shower and then come back and be like, yep, I was on this chapter for 5 minutes. You have to click around, you have to read, you have to highlight, you have to underline, or whatever the case may be. I don't know how specific the system is set up, but she says you have to be active on the computer. Like, the computer will trigger a warning if it is sedentary. Like, you have to be flipping the page. What was that? Flipping the page, going back, flipping the page. Like, of course you can just sit around and BS and click around if you want to, and if that's how you want to do it, if you just want to get it done. But you are tested at the end of every chapter. You are tested at the end of the program, and you are tested by the board. I think my pump just died. And you are tested by the board when all is said and done. That's great. And I charge this too. And you are tested by the board when it's all said and done. So you got to know this stuff. Otherwise, why are you in school if you're not going to actually study and use those 500 hours to actually learn it, get it in your brain, get it in your fingertips, get it into your knuckles. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah. So that was pretty much the full day. I don't think there was anything else that I can remember. But today I felt like I learned a lot. Class went by quickly once again. We wrapped a little early. We wrapped at 12:30. Came back to class and just discussed a few things about how the holiday season is going to come up. So we're going to have a few days off. Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving, and then January 1st, because those days happen to fall on either a Wednesday or a Thursday. So I'm kind of glad I started towards the end of the year, because I feel like I'm easing my way in. And then once we get back for January, it's back to the books. But I'm gonna use that break to definitely get some chapters done and just study and take advantage of the slower time to catch up and get ahead of any lessons I feel like I might be missing. But other than that, that was day 4. It was definitely an exciting day. My first day working on a mannequin completely. And that's fine. That's totally okay. I didn't touch a real person's head today. And that's to be expected. And I didn't mind that, because I definitely got to go through parting and sectioning the mannequin's head and then applying the product and just practicing that. So after working on the mannequin, I now realize that it is still important to have a mannequin and to work on the mannequin and to practice with the mannequin. That's actually how I learned how to braid. Of course, I was using Barbie dolls and big-headed dolls that weren't mannequins per se, but that's how I practiced. And then being able to take that and apply it to a real person's head is essential. But you can't always count on someone letting you practice on their head. So being able to use the mannequin is what it's there for. And I was told that once we do get our kit, there are 3 different mannequins. There's one with 2 with straight hair and then 1 with kinky hair. So I was like, that's pretty amazing. I can't wait for that to get my kit. I did order some things because I just don't want to show up and not have anything. So I ordered a mannequin on Amazon. It was like $27. So I feel like as a stylist, especially as a student, you can never have too many mannequins. So once I get theirs, it'll just add to the pot, and I'll just really, really go crazy on styling them all differently and treating them all differently. And I ordered some color application products, items like brushes and applicator bowl and some combs and some brushes, because I have certain items for my clients, but I don't want to use those in school. So yeah, I did spend a little bit of cash this weekend doing that, but that's the gist. That's the gist of day 4. If you are still watching, thank you very much for sticking around. And if you are in your second week of cosmetology school, or even your first week, I would love to know how that is going and what the differences may be. I know every program is different. This program is definitely, I feel like it's structured, but it's also very freeform, and we kind of go with the day. So even if something we learned in the books is hair coloring and retouching, if a client comes in and wants a haircut, that's what certain students are doing for the day. And I love that because I get to see it all. I get to see it all and witness it all, and like I said, that's what I'm here for. So thank you so much, and I'm gonna get out of here because I'm about to be home after a 27-minute drive, which is good with me.